Alright, today I'm going to do a tutorial on the PaintPot app for Android. If you've been following the course, you've probably seen this in both App Inventor and Java Bridge already. Today we're going to do it with the Android SDK. So I'm going to create my new project as an Android application. I'm just going to call it PaintPot tutorial. And it's recommended to have a unique package name, so I'm just going to call it com.tutorials.paintpot. I'm going to be running this on Android 2.2. You might notice I don't have an emulator up today. That's because we're going to be working with the on-touch listener. Now, the difference between the on-touch listener and the on-click listener is pretty subtle, except for the fact that you can't actually emulate the touch. So you're going to need an actual development device plugged into your computer to be able to test and demonstrate this app. Now I don't have a custom launcher icon, so I'll just go ahead and leave this all as the default and finish. So this is going to be a little bit different from the PaintPot app that you've done in App Inventor and Java Bridge. This is not going to use the camera, it's just going to be a blank canvas where you can have 4 different colors to draw with, or you can clear. So let's start with our user interface. I don't need the hello world, but what I do want are 5 buttons that I'm just going to line up across the top. And 4 of these will be colors, and the last one will be our clear button. So now these don't have very unique names, and it might get a little bit confusing to try and deal with these once we get into the actual Java code. So I'm going to go through and rename the ID, and if you'll recall from the Hello Per tutorial, this ID is how we associate this UI object with a Java object. So I'm just going to call all of these by their different color names. And you'll see the buttons shifting around in the UI a little bit as I do that. That's because this layout is relative. So if you look here, you can see to the right of button 2, well, I just changed the name of button 2 so it doesn't know where to go. So I'll be able to fix that once I've renamed everything and the relative, and all of the relative layout options are set. Alright, so I've made new IDs for all of these. So now I'm just going to put them back so that they're all in a line again. And now they'll stay because the IDs are fixed. So I'm also going to change the text. So that we actually know what it is we're clicking. And you'll notice that the buttons sort of shrink and grow relative to the actual text in the buttons. So you might want to adjust maybe by adding spaces or something if that is something that bothers you. One last time, I'm just going to adjust these. And so now we've got our buttons ready to go. The next part we need to do here is add a new view, which is where the drawing is going to take place. This is going to be a custom view that we're actually going to implement ourselves. Before we can drag it onto the UI though, we're going to need to actually create it. So go into your package that has the main activity and right click to create a new class. I'm going to call this Paint View. And instead of just a regular object, our superclass is going to be an Android view. Now this way we know that it's going to be compatible with our app. Another thing we want to be sure to do is add the constructors from the superclass, because there's several different ones, and like I said before, this ensures compatibility. So we'll just go ahead and finish that. And we're just going to leave this as a skeleton for now and go back and fill it in later. But now, since we've made that, we can refresh our custom views and see that our paint view has shown up as a potential UI object. So to align this, I want it to be underneath the buttons, all the way across with the width, and all the way down to the bottom. And so this is going to be essentially our canvas. Alright, so now you've got your UI done, and in the next video we'll start filling everything in.